Hi everyone, my name is Loony and welcome to the Loony Bin, and this is a video I had for a while now in the back of my mind, and since it is the 9th anniversary of One Piece Treasure Cruise, I think it would be a perfect time to talk about basically the state of One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, for those who are familiar about my early videos on this channel, I did a lot of One Piece Treasure Cruise videos, and I haven't been doing them because, I didn't want, the main focus of this channel to be One Piece Treasure Cruise stuff. So I wanted to expand more into different stuff, and I'm grateful for what has been happening on this channel, so I'm really happy about that. But I have been playing this game for a long time, ever since, the global version first came out. And over time, the game has changed a lot. Trust me, it has changed a lot. The early stages of One Piece Treasure Cruise were kind of dreadful. Like, the quality of life was really bad. Like, you wouldn't believe how bad, One Piece Treasure Cruise was back in the day. Like, oh my goodness gracious. You had to wake up at a specific time in order for you to do a goddamn quest to get turtles to basically power up your character. That's how bad it was. It was really, really bad. And one of the reasons why was because the producer didn't give really half-assed to the global side. He really didn't. He focused mostly on the Japan side, and because that's where most of the profit came from, and that's understandable, but it was not a good time to be a One Piece Treasure Cruise player. Which is why I eventually took a break and eventually came back to a point in time when One Piece Treasure Cruise was, much better. The quality of life was much better, and eventually it hit the high point back in 2020, I believe, when Gold Roger was first introduced as a Super Sugo. For those who don't know what a Super Sugo is, it's basically just a really, really good character that is very powerful, and you only get him whenever there is a Super Sugo banner, which is usually rare. I say usually, but it just feels like we tend to get a lot of Super Sugos from time to time anyway. That was the high point of One Piece Treasure Cruise. It was a time where everybody was having fun. Everybody was playing the game. Everybody was like, oh my god, the game is great again, and stuff like that. But eventually, the game slowly started a heavy but slow descent downward. It headed down a very bad trend. For example, a lot of content creators who basically focus on One Piece Treasure Cruise kind of went in a new direction, and some of them, found success in other places. But there's very few content creators now. There's a few new content creators who basically, do One Piece Treasure Cruise, and they do a really good job taking up the mantle of what the others have left behind. However, One Piece Treasure Cruise, in its current state, in the current field that it plays on, is more than likely, and what it feels like to me, and I just want to make this point clearly before I continue, this is my own personal opinion. I'm not here to sway you into basically quitting One Piece Treasure Cruise or stop playing it or stop loving it. I'm just telling you from my own personal experience of what I have been seeing about the state of One Piece Treasure Cruise, right? It's all up to you. You could do whatever you want. You could continue playing it. I will have no problem. You can continue doing so. But I feel this has to be mentioned because it's just something that nobody seems to really make a video about because, they don't want to upset people. They don't want, they don't want to see that there is kind of an issue with the game. So back to the main point. The game has slowly descended down the same trap that most gacha games tend to fall on to whenever they get a huge player base and you get also a longevity, is that they slowly move away from that free-to-play mindset that they first had to more of the pay-to-win mindset. What that basically means is that instead of playing the game without spending any in-game currency or buying any in-game currency, to what it was back in the day where if you really wanted to be good at the game, you buy gems instead, or you just play the game and then play it casually however you like without having to worry about buying gems, to more like you could play it free to play, but you're gonna have a really hard time to do so. But if you pay and buy in-game currency, guess what? The game is going to be so much fun because you get all the units, and the game becomes much easier to grind with the different modes that are a hellhole if you don't have the newest units or some of the newest legends. And well, yeah, that's literally how One Piece Treasure Cruise has become. It has become a game mostly for profit. Now, there's nothing wrong with that in terms of like on the company side, because guess what? It's a game. The main focus of any game, any video game, is always profit. If you don't have profit, if your game doesn't make any profit, guess what? The game will cease to exist. And that's literally what has become a One Piece Treasure Cruise. And I fully understand, as a company, why they would want to do that. The issue then becomes, you now start to basically harm the player base. You start to harm the community. And by doing so, you basically are trying to force people in order to buy in-game currency to basically, keep up with many other players who really grind hard, who always rank high in certain events. And it's hard to keep up with that if you're a free-to-play player, which is why you tend to lean towards buying gems in order to basically, try to keep up, try to rank high. Now, is it possible to rank high even if you don't want to, pay for, the in-game currency to get the newest legends and stuff like that? Yes, but it shaves away your entire time. If you have the time, great. But as an older player, as a veteran, as an older player who's like 31, like myself, I don't have that time to grind anymore. I have a life, I have work, I have things to focus on more so. I don't have the time to grind constantly every hour, every day that the event is on. I don't have that time, right? And I used to buy gems, but now I barely do anymore, except for like the monthly pack and like the dollar gems. I just don't do that anymore, so it becomes harder. The game becomes harder to grind. It becomes harder to rank high. You could still rank high, but again, you lose time. You lose valuable time that you probably could do other stuff that you probably want to do, right? And that's what has become with One Piece Treasure Cruise. It just feels like they have become more for profit than ever before. And many players have been feeling that. Where Bandai does not care about how we think, how we play, unless we hurt them, in the bank, as, we stop spending money on the game. But that's also hard to do because there's a lot of people in the community who will continuously always, pay to basically get all the brand new units because it's One Piece. One Piece, it's a very popular anime. It's a lot of people's favorites, and it's also a gacha game, which is very popular in a lot of countries. So what basically happens now is that Bandai wants more money. I don't know what the threshold is to basically the game will start making a profit. It could be 50% or 50% of the player base starts spending money. I don't know. But it seems like Bandai doesn't like where it is, so they continuously try to make different banners, different modes where you get less free-to-play, in-game currency to now since you didn't get the newest legend, guess what? Now I want you to pay more money so that you have a better chance and have more chances to get that newest legend, right? And it's hard for a free-to-play player to feel that way because you only get a limited amount of free gems each and every month. You could save, but then you're missing out on a lot of stuff each and every month. And that is an issue. You can save for one of the bigger banners where you could possibly get a lot of those units that you miss, but it's still RNG. It's still a chance that you may or may not even get the newest legend. You may not even get any of the legends that you missed. It's all RNG. It sucks. It really does really suck. I'm trying not to curse here, sorry. So it's very hard for me to say that this game is free-to-play friendly, which I used to do a lot because I thought the game really was free-to-play friendly, right? And I can't say that anymore. I just can't. It's not as simple as just start up the game and you get all the units, you get all the gems easily, and you'll be able to get every single unit. No, if you're starting new as a free-to-play player, you have a lot of months before you could finally have a good account to actually use and play a lot of these modes. It's terrible. It's terrible for new players. It's terrible free-to-play players. Even if Bandai gives you higher chances to get a lot of good legends as a new player, the more you play, you're going to realize soon enough that it's much harder to get any of the new legends unless you are really incredibly lucky. So it's just the game is set up where it's mostly for profit. This anniversary has shown basically the embodiment of this. For example, there was an event, a Blitz event, where basically it was much harder. The mode was specifically designed specifically for the new batch, for the anniversary batch. Now, most people probably pull for the anniversary batch because it's an anniversary. It's one of the 4 major banners that come out each and every year for One Piece Treasure Cruise. But if you don't get them, if you're unlucky and you don't get any of the new legends, you're out of luck, because a lot of those modes cater to those new characters. It will allow you to rank higher than, if you didn't have those legends, and it becomes such a grind fest for players who don't have those legends, where people don't have those time anymore. So what does that mean? What does that technically force people to do? Now, it basically makes them want to buy gems to get these legends because they're missing out, or they just feel like this is almost impossible to complete these modes without those legends. This is a trap that many people have tried to tell others of, tried to, tell people that they shouldn't fall for this trap, but it's hard. Why? Because you want these new legends. You really do. And Bandai's doing everything they possibly can to basically try to get as much money out of you as possible. And it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It's so amazing to see what has happened with One Piece Treasure Cruise ever since 2020, where it has just slowly descended downward. For another example of just how much Bandai is communicating with us, for those who have played possibly in the last 2 years, you probably didn't even know we had a community manager. We had a community manager, and recently we just found out that the community manager is leaving. That's right. The community manager, the one that you didn't even remember or probably thought we had, is now leaving. Why? Because they stopped communicating with us. We used to get producer videos from the producer, Yoshi, who would tell us what the next banner is, what the New Year's banner is, what the Annie banner is. We haven't gotten a producer video in such a long time. It almost feels like Bandai is it's just not. It's just like they're like they're like ghosting us. They're giving us all this information about, units and stuff like that, but then they're not communicating with us. They're not telling us like what the issue is. Sometimes we see that they are listening to us, but they always do it in a way where it's just like they think they're taking a step forward, but it feels like they're taking 2 steps back, because they always come up with a decision that screws something else off. The best example recently was, we used to have a monthly Turtle Island event where you could get turtles and to basically power up your units, and you also get like Chopper mission rewards. They were removing that for a new mode, which can be hard if you don't have the newest batch or like a good box, a good account. So it's just like, so you're basically removing something that was very simple that almost any free-to-play player could possibly do, to basically like, oh well, now it's a little bit harder to get these turtles, and now, well, too bad. So it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to see them take stuff away and adding new stuff that just makes it a little bit more difficult to be more free to play. It sucks. It really does suck. And this is the current state of One Piece Treasure Cruise. I really, really don't give a damn. I'm trying not to curse, sorry. I don't really give a damn if they scam me or fuck me over, or I just cursed, or if I can't get the unit that I want. I don't care. I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be stupid enough to possibly maybe, risk my credit score to pay for more gems. That's on me. That is my fault. Maybe I'm just ranting about myself, my own personal stuff, and basically, nobody really cares about what I think. But I care about the community, because the community is great. I love the community. I love the One Piece Treasure Cruise community, because they have always been helpful. They have always been friendly. But this is just so frustrating to see the game become like this, It's frustrating as a longtime player, and it's just frustrating that Bandai just refuses to talk to us. Refuses to listen to us. There was an interview with the producer, Yoshi, talking about how like some of the content that they've been producing has been repetitive. So what did they do? They remove certain events that they thought was repetitive, but we enjoyed. For example, the GARP challenges. Yes, the GARP challenges were hard content, but we enjoyed them because guess what? That was a source of like certain materials that we use in game to power up stuff and gems. But they removed it for harder content, which is harder for free to play players to freaking do, right? So this is the type of decision making that they're doing. It's really mind boggling. It almost feels like I said, this game has become more for profit. And I just want to say that this is my own personal opinion. You could disagree with me. If you disagree with me, please let me know in the comments below about how you feel about the game, and just let me know. I would like to have a discussion, and if you feel like this isn't the case, that's perfectly fine as well. But I wanted to share my view of the current state of One Piece Treasure Cruise. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please comment below, like I said, if you disagree. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. And hopefully you have a splendid day. Enjoy the anniversary, by the way. I know I ranted a lot, but enjoy the anniversary. One Piece Treasure Cruise is a fun game if you don't think too much or hard about it, especially the grinding stuff. So enjoy it. Bye, everyone.